Epic Games has recently added the suppressed SMG back into Fortnite after a long time of it being vaulted. This is super huge, and I'm glad to see a new variety of guns, even though they are older guns. Suppressed SMG has been around since the preseason of Fortnite, most notably actually during the spy games when you could have it epic and legendary, and has only been able to be found as ground loot up to the rare version of it. But going over the stats today, three things will remain the same no matter the rarity. That will be your bullet type, which is small, the magazine size, which will remain at 30, and also the fire rate, which will remain at 7.8. Everything else in the stats will increasingly get better depending on what rarity you have of this gun. So starting off with the common version of this gun, we're going to be looking at an overall damage per second of 156, with each damage per shot that you land only coming out to 20. Then you're going to be looking at a reload time of 2.2. Moving on to the uncommon version, you're going to be looking at a DPS at 163.8 and a damage per shot at 21. The DPS stands for damage per second. And then your reload time will decrease to 2.1. So a slight difference between the uncommon and common, but more than likely you're not going to notice a huge difference between the two weapons. Moving on from there, you'll get the rare version of the suppressed SMG, which is the best version you can find as ground loot in the game, and that comes out to 171.6 damage per second with a grand total of 22 damage per shot, and then a reload time of a flat 2 seconds. So from the rare version to the common version, you're definitely going to see a big increase, and you should be able to possibly win gunfights you would otherwise lose by having the common version. Now, like I said previously, the epic and legendary version were only obtainable during the spy games and never as ground loot, but now you can also get them by using your gold and upgrading them that way as well. This is where we see a great increase in the suppressed SMG. So starting off with the epic version, you're going to be looking at damage per second of 179.4 with a damage per shot of 23, and the reload time going slightly below the 2 second mark at 1.9. And then when we look at the best version of the suppressed SMG, which is the legendary version, you're going to be looking at a huge increase just from the legendary to the epic, which will set this gun at a 187.2 damage per second with a 24 damage per shot and a grand total reload time of 1.8 seconds. So as you can see, the jump from rare to epic is another big jump, but from epic to legendary is the biggest jump of all. And so if you have the gold and you have this weapon, it is really keen that you want to have at least the rare version of this weapon, because we see the stats get increasingly better, which is obvious, but the big jumps happen between the epic and the legendary, so it's definitely worth it to use your gold in order to get it to one of those two variants in order to have a higher chance of winning those gunfights. The suppressed SMG is actually modeled after the German MP5 SD, which is the suppressed model of the MP5. Also, with the suppressed SMG though, it will actually have a quick drop-off rate because of the suppressor. So you have to be sure that this gun will only be able to be used up close, such as the combat assault rifle or the Steiner SMG for that matter, that can be used for a little bit medium range. You're going to see a huge drop-off just within a few meters away from your opponent, only making it good up close. It's also keen to know that all the stats that we went over, the headshot multiplayer has been decreased from a flat 2 times more than what the damage per shot was to the body to only 1.75. So for easy numbers, if the gun lands what would be the common version of 20 per shot, you would take the 20 times the 1.75 and get a total of 35 damage as a headshot, which would be doing better than what even the legendary version of this gun does to the body. So it's really important that you always land these headshots because the multiplayer is very, very great. To see the best performance out of this SMG, you're going to want to pair it with a high-powered shotgun, such as the Prime shotgun. By landing that first shot with the shotgun and switching to the suppressed SMG, you'll be able to get the jump on your opponent by doing that heavy damage and finishing him off with a very fast-shooting, silenced version of the MP5. But at the end of the day, you're trading off your damage at range for attempting to be sneaky throughout the Battle Royale match. Just take a note that the suppressed SMG will not be around for very long, and it will be important for nostalgic reasons to use it. If you're a big fan of this gun and you're glad to see it come back, and if I missed any stats, let me know down in the comment section. Feel free to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.